I want to have a quick conversation about Serendipity Labs co-working space, and I want to review the whole service, and I want to know the pros and cons, the pricing, the functionalities, everything that you need to know about Serendipity Labs co-working space. So here is a glance into the operation. So when we talk about Serendipity Labs, we're talking about a platform that not only has locations in urban areas but also in suburbs and small cities and towns. So that's really good in terms of innovation. We love that a lot. For example, it has a co-working space in a San Francisco Bay Area suburb, but not in the city itself, making it easier to find a location near you now that employees are able to work remotely instead of coming to large cities where their employer may be located. I mean, we live in a post-COVID era, and a lot of companies that have been rethinking their restructuring sort of strategy, their relocation strategy, and also their telecommuting strategy. So when we think about Serendipity Labs, we're thinking about a very innovative co-working space. That's really good. And its amenities include complimentary fruit-infused water. That's really, I mean, for some, that's not important, but for some employees, for other employees, that's important. You have coffee and tea. You have quiet and wellness rooms. You have access to a work bar and lounge, guest reception and concierge services, and also, most importantly, professional catering options. Some locations have the option to rent a private office for the day, so that's really good in terms of flexibility and also efficiency. And so, states where you can find Serendipity Labs include California, you have Colorado, you have Connecticut, you have Florida, Georgia, Kansas, Missouri, New Jersey, New York, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, and Wisconsin. It also has a co-working space in Manchester in the United Kingdom, so that's really good. And in terms of cost, I'll speak about pricing later on, but a day pass will cost you about $49. Hot seat monthly membership varies by location, ranging from $199 to $399 per month. And single day private office rental is $69 per person per day. I just want to insist it is per person per day. And the amenities, you have access to a work bar and lounge, and you have guest reception and concierge services, and you have professional catering services. So that's really cool. So long story short, wonderful, innovative, and forward-looking sort of a co-working space. Fantastic. By the way, boss, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. Make yourself comfortable. You are going to enjoy today's conversation. So when we talk about Serendipity Labs and we're talking about pricing, I want you to look right now on the screen. You can see that the Serendipity Labs is not really publishing their pricing tiers, and that's not a really unique. I mean, a lot of players in this field they play by the same rules, so they do not provide the pricing information on the website. But you have to actually contact them. You have to call the sales reps to have a clear idea about this could really cost you. But based on our research, they actually charge around 750 to 1250 per month. Okay, if you were to look for a spot, and they also offer a free tour, so you have an opportunity to actually schedule a visit on the website. So if you're interested in Serendipity Labs, you got to schedule a visit on the website. You have to call them and ask, and they'll ask you the time you want to come in. They'll also tell you the date you want to come in, and then they will just give you a tour. There are cases where they have 3D renderings of their offices, their locations. So if you can't really move and you really want to actually have a clear, you want to have a sneak peek into the whole locations, the service is able to create a 3D tour for you. Now, they do not publish that 3D tour because they think it's more like some kind of competitive I would say protection. But if you are interested, they'll schedule it for you, and they'll send you a private link. Not a problem, okay? And so Serendipity Labs is located. They have more than 35 locations as of the date of this show in 29 markets in urban and suburban areas throughout the United States. So Serendipity Labs is not they're not present right now overseas. By the way, the company started in 2010 to 2011. So it's been a while that they've been operating. And when we talk about alternatives, if for any reason you can't really find a spot at Serendipity Labs, you can go to a WeWork, for instance. We actually reviewed the WeWork also. You have liquid space, you have make offices, and you have work bars. So you do have a series of players in this field. They're all trying to vie for market share. By the way, boss, I want to quickly remind you, today's topic, we are having a conversation about Serendipity Labs co-working space. Let me talk to you about the specs you need to really pay attention to as you think about Serendipity Labs co-working space. I want to first talk to you about the co-working space and day offices. So the company provides a secure professional co-working spaces, and you also have private, like really flexible private office space with drop-in options. So that's really good in terms of flexibility. If you are a freelancer, let's say if you are a solopreneur, if you really want to have this sort of a flexibility, having a drop-in option is really good. You can start your business, collaborate, and network with other business professionals in inspirational workplaces across the country without the constraint of or overhead cost of a traditional office lease. So that's really good. And the cool thing, what we love about this setup is that all co-working options are supported by an enterprise-grade like infrastructure adhering to security and compliance standards. So I'm talking about the HIPAA, SOX, Sarbanes-Oxley. You have the Department of Defense and FINRA. So that's really good. So overall, that's really fantastic. So now when we talk about finding the right co-working, the right workspace for you, you have a lot of opportunities. With Serendipity Labs, you have what they call unlimited co-working. They have co-working 10, they have a co-working day pass, and they have virtual office plans. Now, whatever you want, and they also have dedicated desk as well as private day offices. Let's quickly talk about some of those so you have a clear idea what I'm talking about. I want to first start with unlimited co-working. So when you think about Serendipity Labs co-working space, unlimited co-working just means that an area just for yourself. You have high-speed internet. You're able to accommodate whatever needs you have. So maximum flexibility for if you don't require a permanent desk. You have a 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. weekday access to all common areas. Well, by common areas, I'm talking about cafeteria. I'm talking about the living room. I'm talking about like everything. Okay, the private offices, so on and so forth. 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Additional co-working plans are available for 1 day a month and 10 day. Add-ons include a weekend and after-hour access. So if you have like a last-minute weekend meeting, or you just have meetings on the weekend because your clients are really busy during the week, basically Serendipity Labs will accommodate you. We have enterprise plans that are also available. So that's for unlimited co-working. Now you can say, you know what? I'm not interested in the unlimited co-working. I'm going to just go with co-working 10. So what happens here is that you have 10 day a month flexibility for if you don't require a permanent desk. I mean, depending upon your business, okay? And so you have 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. weekday access to all common areas. Additional co-working plans available for 1 day a month and unlimited access. Add-ons including weekend and after-hour access, and enterprise plans also available on this tier. You also have a co-working day pass. So if you prefer to, let's say if you need access to a professional workplace with all the benefits of full amenities, you just schedule a drop-in co-working day pass. Okay, so you have business hour access to all common areas, comfortable co-working seating options are available to accommodate your preferred work style. And this is kind of cool. You know what? Because if you have a startup and you have a team, or you are by yourself anyway, you will love this co-working day pass anyway. And you can access meeting rooms on demand. So let's say you're a really busy entrepreneur, but you just want to sort of conglomerate all your meetings on one day. Just get a co-working day pass, and you just work your ass off during that day. You also have a virtual office plans. So you can actually use a virtual office from Serendipity Labs. So from mail handling to office and meeting room access, you can rely on Serendipity Labs to take care of your business needs. So we're talking about recognized business addresses, drop-in access included. So that's kind of cool in terms of flexibility. You also have dedicated desks. So this is really ideal, in our view, ideal for those who require a dedicated workstation without the need for complete privacy. Let's say you like to work in a team, but you don't want to actually barricade yourself in an office. You will love this one, okay? And this is actually available in groups for teams and located adjacent to private offices. So we're talking here about what? We're talking about dedicated full-size desk with ergonomic chair and lockable filing cabinet. You have access to, let me drink some water here. So you have access to private focus rooms and retreats for occasional privacy, phone and video calls. So that's really good in terms of opportunity. And you have a telephone or hardwired connections that can be added as a service upgrade. So this is totally good in terms of giving you flexibility. Because when we talk about Serendipity Labs co-working space, we are speaking about maximum flexibility for you and your team members. By the way, boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about Serendipity Labs co-working space. This is a review of the service. And I want to really continue to talk about Serendipity specs. You have private day offices, and you also have, like in some cases, you have what they call Worktopia drop-in access. Okay, and so when we talk about private day offices, you are able to quickly get to work in the privacy of an office for a day. This is really good, and all offices are furnished with ergonomic textures and include high-speed secure Wi-Fi. So that's really good in terms of flexibility and so you have business hour access for like to all common areas. You have options for one person or multiple people. So if you have a team, if you are looking for a brainstorming day and you just want to think about stuff, you can really block this private day office, and you can actually join Worktopia and guaranteed private day office access 2 or 3 times a week at reduced rates. And speaking about Worktopia, let's talk about that. So when we talk about co-working space at Serendipity Labs, what is Worktopia? I mean, Worktopia actually gives you access, what they call drop-in access. So you pay as you go, co-working, private day offices and meeting rooms on demand, all at discounted member rates. Okay, so they want you to pay for a Worktopia membership rate. So you have access, you can access all locations in the network with one pay as you go plan. Maximum flexibility for those who don't require a permanent desk, and business hour access. So business hour access, that's really good in terms of giving you the flexibility you need in the first place. So long story short, when you think about Serendipity Labs and you think about the constellation of services they have, or features they have, just make sure that it's all about flexibility. Whether you talk about the unlimited co-working 10, co-working day pass, virtual office plans, dedicated desk, private day offices, or Worktopia drop-in access, it's all about flexibility. Let's talk about some complementary services. It's important to really understand that depending upon the tier that you have with Serendipity Labs, they might throw in a few complementary perks. So co-working special offers and limited time only pricing may only be applied on new memberships for a maximum of 3 months and may not be combined with any other special offers. And the thing is that this is not valid for price adjustments. So when we talk about complimentary, you have to understand that all co-working and drop-in memberships have access to complimentary fruit-infused water, coffee, and tea. I said this before. You have high-speed Wi-Fi that's included with secure printing available. You have experienced local full-service hospitality staff, in-app preferred pricing to meeting and conference rooms across the network. That's really good in terms of giving you the flexibility you need to have, whether you are running a 2-person meeting or a 20-person meeting or even a 200-person meeting. It's all about stability. It's all about productivity. It's also about efficiency. So if you are going to avail yourself of that service, be mindful of that trifecta. And you have also extended hour and weekend plans available depending upon the geography, the location where you are at. You have quiet and wellness rooms for occasional privacy, phone and video calls, access to a wide variety of sitting options in inspiring co-working areas, and you also have on-site networking and professional development events. So that's really good in terms of giving you the flexibility you need at some point to have the process that you need to have at some point to really understand what's really happening. What I want to say here is that when we talk about this service overall, we are thinking about a constellation of things, because when you analyze Serendipity Labs co-working space, it's not just about the space that you have, but it's also about all what we call the intangibles, right? So your ability to network, your ability to understand each other, your ability to really avail yourself of the expertise of third parties, of other team members. It's all about that flexibility that I'm talking about. And this is what you want to have anyway. You want to have that flexibility not only on one-time basis, but also over time. So that's really important in terms of the flexibility you got to have at some point anyway. So that's really fantastic. So, what is our verdict? Is a Serendipity Labs co-working space worth it or not worth it? Well, one thing for sure, this player is definitely worth it. They're safe. They've been in business for a while now, and they offer a lot of capabilities. Mind you, they're not present right now in Europe, that's for sure. But in the United States, they have 30 to 35 locations, and I'm talking about very short locations. It's not just about going to deliver a mail or whatever. No, no, they really are pretty sure in terms of running a business out of that. So Serendipity Labs co-working space right now, they don't have a virtual, they don't offer a virtual mailbox service, but this is something they'll be thinking about at some point. But one thing I want to say is that when we talk about Serendipity Labs co-working space, you have to really understand the verdict. Simply saying this is worth it doesn't really answer the whole question, right? So it is worth it, that's for sure, but it is worth it for which purposes? It is worth it for which project? It is worth it for which sort of endeavors? You got to really find out what really works for you, and it's in one of those things where you got to really constantly find a way to deal with all kinds of conditions. That's really important. By the way, I just wanted to tell you that it's important to really understand that Serendipity Labs is constantly sort of changing their pricing model. That's really good to sort of cater to a wider selection. So whether you are in New York, LA, or somewhere in Atlanta, you have the capability to deal with Serendipity Labs at various levels. And what I want to say is that if you want to really get the best deal, you got to really find yourself and ask yourself what kind of needs do you have, what kind of services do you need in terms of chronology, in terms of geography, but also most importantly, in terms of your profession. So based on your profession, what kind of back office work do you need? What kind of front office work do you need? And you also have to constantly sort of adapt your prayers to what's really happening with that specific like situation you want to find a solution for. So long story short, Labs can really help you not only in terms of finding a place where you can run your meeting, but also a place where you can thrive. So it's not just about helping you, empowering you in terms of meeting, in terms of no, but we are speaking about your ability to thrive, and your ability to thrive is really critical in terms of the bottom line. So that's really fantastic. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I was just talking to you about the Serendipity Labs co-working space. So we just did a quick sort of review of this service. I give you a glance into the company. I give you the pricing, the specs, and the verdict. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.